No, the problem was he was doing so much of it.
Anything over 7.
Anything over 7. But he had been doing it for years, 18 months, before they finally caught up to him. Because the DRE doesn't go, oh, one time infraction, we're gonna nail you. They're gonna build a case. So they come back to him and they say, look, you've been doing this for a very, very long time. So he comes up to Sacramento, goes through the whole process, scared out of his mind, thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go to jail, all this stuff. Because you hear these horror stories of like how there's like, they have police powers and they can throw you in jail because technically they could say it's a felony, it's a criminal offense, whatever. He comes up, he has to plead guilty because of the volume and because of the law. And the law states that, and I've read the law, and I went round and round with him on it as well. And the law states that anytime you sell a property or you assign a property to the public, it's considered practicing real estate without a license if you do it more than 7 times. And I said, what's considered the public? What if I'm doing it to an LLC? That's a business. It's not a public. He says the way a state interprets the law is that the public is anyone that's not licensed. And so I was like, okay, well, what if the person is a business and a licensed person? So anyway, we're getting into this gray area. What had ended up happening is the DRC says, look, man, just stop doing what you're doing. We're going to fine you $2,500, and we're going to fine you on 3. So pay us $7,500, get on your way, just stop doing it. So out of all the money that he made, he ended up paying $7,500, pleaded guilty to it, and it goes on his record if he ever wants to become a real estate agent. So can you not become a real estate agent because of that? No. You sign the application. It says, yeah, I was fined for practicing real estate without a license. I no longer have done that. So his relationship, his thing now is his number one buyer says, dude, it's a marketing expense for me either way. Submit me an invoice in escrow, and I'll pay you a marketing fee for your properties. I don't know how much it costs you to spend, X amount of postcard mailers. It might cost you $25,000 to do a postcard mailing. I don't know. I'm just paying your marketing fee to get this property. And that's how he got around it. So he no longer does that. He has one buyer that buys all of his properties, and he's actually, believe it or not, he's making more money now. He says, when I narrowed down to this one guy, I'm making more money than I was, and I have less headaches and trying to if I'm going to market this thing and all of that stuff. I'm like, dude, that's awesome, dude.
That's the last lesson there.
Lesson learned. So, your assignments go to know who you're going to be who are you working for, basically. And I hate to use those terms, but you are developing the relationships with people. And these relationships are going to pay dividends, man. Multiple dividends. Like the one guy that I have breakfast with, he basically said, Ryan, my money is your money. It's private money anyway. It's not even his money. It's private money. He says, the money that we have available, go find us more property. Every time I have a conversation with him, he's like, hey, do you have any more property? He knows we're doing this training. He's like, I'm happy for you. You're doing this training, but I'm not happy. Because it's taken a lot of my time to develop this. I devoted 10 and 12-hour days for almost 2 weeks when I decided to do this, and I put my personal prospecting on hold. And so he was like,
Pissed off.
he is. I have breakfast with him on Tuesday, and he's like, I'm happy to hear about how it went down, but I'm also happier if you can tell me that you have a property for me on Tuesday that we can pull the trigger on.
Busy on Monday, right?
Monday I am. You saw my VA was working on finding some properties for me on Craigslist, so I'm going to be scrambling. Probably won't have it ready for him on Tuesday, but by the end of the week, I'll have another property for this guy. So these relationships are key in doing this business. And that when it comes to wholesale. Now we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of why you really came here, because Skinny Deals is what it's all about. Okay, opening escrow. So you want to provide the title company with the signed copies of the contract and the assignment agreement. You want to provide the title company with the contract info of all parties involved, so you, the contact for you, the seller, and the buyer. You want to let them know that if anyone has any questions during the process, that they can contact you. You want to provide exceptional customer service. I cannot overemphasize this enough. In my mind, I was naive enough to believe and to think that title companies would be the service providers. These guys have created a market for themselves. They've inserted them into the deal, and they're like, all we care about is you paying us our fee for title insurance. They do nothing when it comes to customer service. They screw your deals up. I mean, our deal, we almost lost this deal. They disclosed so much stuff they should not have disclosed to the sellers. They caused heartache for the seller. They refused to give the guy the check that he requested, refused to do anything for us. I mean, it was like a nightmare. So my title company here in town, bless her heart, she gets busy. We use one agent, and she gets very busy, and sometimes she's kind of scattered. And she might not get back to you for like a day or two, or sometimes 3. And it's your responsibility to be this person that's going to hold hands to both the seller and hold hands with the title company and make sure things are happening smoothly. I cannot tell you that if I drop the ball with my title company and make sure that things aren't moving smoothly, I run the risk of losing that deal because the seller gets freaked out or is like pissed off because we blew past a deadline or something happened. So you want to provide exceptional customer service when it comes to these wholesale transactions.
How do you do their job for them?
As far as what, like pool title?
Get the payoff amounts, call the banks,
That is so funny that you should ask that.
Because they don't do it. I'm like, you're killing me.
Now, is that
I'm
the
telling
thing
you,
you can't find a
a
single
lazy title
title
agent?
company.
It's
I'm
not the title
paying you
company.
to do this, and I gotta do it.
Agent,
It's the person you're dealing with is lazy.
let me see if I actually have this email.
Oh,
What was Adam's last name?
I checked it out very deep.
which company was that?
I don't know.
First name and James.
I remember James before.
Was it James?
They're different.
James.
James was the main one you were talking to.
Okay, so check this out, guys.
If you
Then
find a
Nick?
good escrow officer,
Here it is.
they're good.
Because it works for,
First name.
no, North American. But he's down at their Bay Area office and he doesn't. Yeah,
Corporate stuff.
well, he started in pulling records. My mom taught him how to pull records at the county. And doing title searches, and that's where he started. And, now he's up there.
It's a very good skill to know how to read all of the documents and run title.
So,
Very good skill.
I wanna see if my mom remembers how to do it, just so I can take her up one day and.
I bet she does. I bet she could like that.
Because, I mean, she worked for Liberty Title, and their loss when she started, because she was finding all these things.
he basically says, so this is, I have the email right here. I've pulled it up. We had a deal that was supposed to close. And the person, it was a probate estate. She died with the property in trust, and she was a hit and run. I think I told you about it. She got hit, died, was in a coma, and died. So she's the only one that's authorized on the loan to do this. So you guys understand like authorizations, right? You call the bank, and they're like, "Oh, this person, I'm off." You go through the authorization process or authenticating process where you have to get the last 4 of their social, you have to give the loan amount and all this stuff. Yeah, all that stuff. So this title company didn't have the last 4 of the social, didn't even have the loan number. Did they have the loan number? I can't remember.
No.
No, nothing.
No.
That's right, because I had to get it.
Yeah, we had to get it for him.
And we knew the bank. That was it. So I'm at Disneyland. These guys are scrambling down there, trying to get this thing to work out. And I get this email from this guy, a flippant response. He's like, "I don't know when this is going to close. We can't get authorization for payoff. Might never close. Indefinite." And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me right now, guys?
Job.
Are you? I was so pissed. I was so pissed.
Well, he calls me up and he says, I've called the bank and there's nothing I can do. They won't cooperate. We just can't do anything. He says, I tried.
I was so mad. So I wrote him back.
I wasn't angry.
No.
You can't get
You know what? I was pissed, but I never got angry with this guy.
No, it was very delicately written. It was nice.
So I said, "Good morning, James." The trustee spoke with B of A this morning and ordered an expedited payoff demand for the to be faxed to his fax number. They said they would put a rush on it and you should get it today, tomorrow at the latest. They were hopeful that because it was early enough in the day that you should, whoops, shut the power off. You should get it today. Let me know if you need anything else. And he wrote back and said, where's it at? Great news, thank you. That was it. That's all I got from this guy.
So you got the email from him, you just went in and solved the issue, and then told him you solved it.
How do you solve the issue? Person's dead. You don't have her social. You don't have any information. What do you do?
Well, who's in charge of the trust?
The trustee is, but that's not on file. And we don't have an affidavit of death yet because you guys are scrambling trying to get a death certificate.